Today's church service was one of the hardest that I had to stomach since this breakup. It's about returning to your first love, and that's not meaning it in the way you may think. It's not about returning to the first person you fell in love with, although she is. Um, and I've had many relationships in between that, and we've had such a long time to develop and understand each other. But it's not just about returning to how you love your current partner, like returning in the sense of how deep that early connection was with them. Returning to that. Say you're years down the line in the relationship. You want to return to exactly how you loved that person at the very start. I'm just going to crack a window. And on top of that, it's about returning to the Lord and making Him your first love, your first priority in life. Now, the service was all, I would say, back and forth between a deep loving marriage and talking about scripture and how God should always be the number one priority in your life. But hearing the pastor talk in depth about how much he loves his wife, like how much he really loves his wife, shattered my heart into pieces, and I just started crying. And this was like very early into the sermon. I'm just sitting there and I'm just already crying. Because I know how much I admired her. And I admired her maybe even more than he admires his wife right now. And the way he was explaining it was just incredible. And I know that I always did the same. I always said, maybe I love you a little too much. I always told her that too. I was always scared if I was loving her too much. Because I never felt that for anyone else. And I didn't know if it was a bad thing or a scary thing that would put the relationship at risk. Loving her too much. And apparently it did. There's a lot that's been going on, and there's a story that I'm going to get into, and I'm going to make a very professional, polished video on it, about how the guy that she cheated on me to get with is now who she's returning to. I don't think romantically, but just friendship-wise, I don't know what they've got going on, but they have returned to each other in some kind of way, which is just a whole different layer to the story. Some Halloween party, and I've cut off so many people this week. I've cut off a lot of people this week because I've truly seen how much of a snake in the grass they can be. And I'm not talking about this guy that she's reconnecting with, because I can't be mad at him after what I did. But I digress, and I still feel a level of resentment or something towards this woman, but I know deep down I love her with all of my heart and soul, and that won't change. Now, I have a feeling too that these two actually went to this church service this morning, because the way this church runs is they have the same service in the morning at around 9, and then they do it again, and I always show up to the second one. So I think I won't explain how I know, but I know they were together this morning, and maybe church, yeah, probably. I truly think they did come here, and they experienced, or she experienced, or I think, or I don't know. It's a lot of speculation. All I know is that they were together this morning, and to think that she experienced the same service that I just experienced about returning to your first love, there's many ways that could be perceived by her. Many ways. So many ways. And part of me wants to think that it's going to help her be reminded of me, because I am her first love. But first serious relationship, I'm not. I'm not that. I'm her second. But we are each other's first love. And I don't know. It's scary to me to think that there's a lot of signs and things going on in my life, and I'm certain hers, and she's going to take those signs and perceive them exactly how she wants to. So it, in the end, doesn't really benefit my situation at all, because I want to reconcile, I want to recover, I want to fix, and I want to just be there. I want to love her, and I don't know why she hates me so much. Because I loved her. I adored. I never used to use that word. I never used that word until I finally got a chance to love and adore her. I never said I adore you to anybody else in the world. So empty and numb, and I don't know where this is gonna go. It's a very traumatic, dramatic, just such a stupid course of events. And all the actions that are being taken by everybody is just all wrong. Lies pile on top of each other. They will pile and pile and pile until they cannot pile any higher. And then they pop. And that bubble has officially popped. And it is popping over and over again, because I find out more and more. Every couple days, every week is a complete evolution of the story. But this is kind of just, I guess, an introduction to the more polished video I'm going to make in the next day or two. But I thank you for watching, and I do want you guys to know, if you have that chance, if you're in a relationship, if you're in a relationship with a person or with God, return to that with the fullest, most loving extent that you've got within you. Love your partner like you did from the start. Fix things, polish communication, and don't hold resentment. Relationships are never 50-50. They could be 30-70, they could be 60-40. They're always fluctuating. And if someone's having a bad day, be that extra for them. Don't lower yourself. Don't be a mirror of what they are. I am a victim of that, and this woman's a victim of that. We've all, I think, done that. It's very hard because powerful emotions are potent, and they will kind of flood your bubble, right? If someone's next to me right now and I'm feeling this deep sadness and I'm not in the mood to communicate or whatnot, they're gonna feel like doing the same thing. But that's something we have to fight, and that's something we have to fix, because that is one thing that will destroy a relationship. So love your partner like it's day one, and love God like He is the number one thing in your life. Anyways, take care, everybody.